Hi, we're here for math. We're going to do some more multiplication. So today we're doing chapter 20, lesson 4, and the page numbers are 401 and 402. It is April 16th, Thursday, 2020. So here's our first slide. So today we're going to use a table to multiply. I really like tables. Now usually when I do tables, I do them up and down. So when I've talked about tables, can you hit the button one more time?
Sure, be happy to.
Okay, so once again, chapter 20, lesson 4, pages 401, 402. When I draw a table, oftentimes it's to solve a word problem, because tables are really helpful for word problems. And I love tables that go up and down because I say they always start with a cross. And that just reminds me of the cross. So that's pretty cool. And then you draw a box around the cross like that. And so then you have your table. And usually you have labels up here. And then you have your data or your information down here and the boxes down here. So that's what I like to start off about tables. So tables are really nice. But in our lesson for today, we're actually going to be doing tables that go the other way, but that's okay, not a big deal. So we're just going to make our cross like this to start off with. So if you ever need to draw a table, you remember it starts with a cross, right? And so here it's labeled. This starts out with pots. So everything in this top part is going to be the pots, and then down here is flowers. I need to write a little small because here are the flowers. And I always use labels on my tables because that helps it to be clear for me. So, and I'm just duplicating what they have on the page there for you so that you can see that if I need a table, I can draw a table. It's not hard.
So, Miss East, does that mean that there are so many flowers in each pot?
Right. So we're talking once again in multiplication, great point, is equal groups. Because multiplication is all about equal groups. And it's also, it's almost like collecting sets of things. So right here it says, you can use tables to multiply. You can use a table to help solve a multiplication problem. Mr. Vega has 3 flower pots. He plants 3 flowers in each pot. How many flowers are there? Now you can use skip counting. And the counting pattern is 3, 6, 9, but I'm going to go over here to this table. Here's the first flower pot. Here's the second flower pot. Here's the third flower pot. Now it really doesn't matter that the table I drew has extra spots because I'm just going to deal with the problem that it's given me. And then down here I'm going to count the equal groups, sets of 3. So in the first flower pot there's 3. In the second flower pot, there's 3 plus 3, which would be 6. In the third flower pot...
Say that 3 times fast.
No. I'm going to take 6, and I'm going to add 3 to that, and that's 9. So I kind of use skip counting a little bit. So 3, 6, 9. He only has 3 flower pots, so I'm done. So my answer here is 9. And you see that I've done that one for you. Now, here's the nice thing. In my next problem, they're still talking about flower pots, and they're still talking about flowers. So,
Miss East.
Yes, ma'am?
Could they also draw it to kind of help if they need to?
They could draw it. They could. Yesterday, I did flower pots, but I was really unneat. I was sort of messy about my picture. You could have, here's a flower pot, and then you could go 1 flower, 2 flowers, 3 flowers. For our first example. Okay, so you could draw another flower pot there and another flower pot there. That's actually really helpful, especially for people who are what we call visual learners, and that it's really important to see things. So that's a good point. Excellent.
And I liked it too because we were talking about 3, 6, 9, and we were talking about Schoolhouse Rock yesterday, and it's right back again.
Right.
Yeah.
3 is a magic number.
It is.
Hey, Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
It's got to be the magic number.
It is. It's a good, holy, spiritual number. Okay, so this first real problem right here It says find a pattern to complete the table. Write the multiplication sentence to solve. Mr. Vega sells 4 flower pots. Each pot had 2 flowers. So now we have a different equal group. We have sets of 2. How many flowers are there in all? So I can still use my same table, only I'm just going to add a 4 here. And now the flowers, instead of being 3s, they're in equal groups of 2. So here's 2. Add 2 more to that.
4.
4. 2 more to that.
6.
2 more to that.
8.
8. So there is my final answer. My answer is 8. So my math problem is going to be, there's 4 flower pots, 2 flowers in each one. The answer is 8. Now, if you were doing this, say you tried to practice a little bit early, and you changed it, and you decided to write 2 here and 4 here, that's not going to change the answer
Well,
at
you
all.
talked about that yesterday.
We did. And so order doesn't matter because it's multiplication. And so our product, which is our answer, these are factors, this is a product, is going to be the same. It's still going to be 8. And if you want to, you could kind of do that here on your page to show that you've used skip counting to be able to answer the question, and that is really good.
Well, Mrs. East, I
Mhm.
know in my class, when we have a story problem, we
Oh.
should be circling the numbers
Oh,
that
right.
we're working with.
Right
and
here.
even that key word too, of what kind of math you're gonna do, how many, in all right there,
Right. So that tells you you're going to multiply.
in all helps to multiply.
Yes, because you're going to end up with a larger number than the other two. Now, sometimes I notice too on the tests, they try to trick you. So instead of putting 2 numbers, sometimes they go like this. They have number 4 and then they'll spell out the word 2. And so they're like, we'll get them. And so when you see a word that's spelled that's really a number, go ahead and circle that as well. So don't let them trick you, okay? Okay. Oh, I'm going to go back to my original. 4 times 2 equals 8. And then I'm going to ask you to pause the video. Ready? 3, 2, 1, pause. Okay, we're back. And then go ahead and see if your answers match mine. Oh, when you paused the video, you were supposed to finish this page on your own. So there are 5 plants, 4 flowers in with each plant. Okay, that makes sense. So this is going to be 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 4 is 12. Plus 4 is 16. Plus 4 is 20. Now, you were talking about circling the numbers. And one of the things I like is, once again, whenever you multiply times 5, the answer has to end in either a 0 or a 5.
I like that rule.
It's a nice rule. And then if you get even more into being what we talked about yesterday about being automatic, right? One of the secrets about the 5 times tables is if it's an even number that it's being multiplied, it ends in a 0. If it's an odd number that's being multiplied times
Is it a
5,
5?
it ends in a 5.
Wow.
So that's like, you could even do like 12 times 5, 60. 13, which is odd, 65. Yeah, so it's a little trick down the road. Okay, so I'm going to say there are 5 plants times 4. And of course my answer is 20. And then here it says, Math Talk, how can a table help you multiply? And you could have a different way of saying it. I'm going to say you can see, yeah, you can see skip counting. You can see the, I don't want to write on top of my flower, the answer. I didn't write small enough. And you have a little extra room down here. I guess I could have written down here. Anyway, you could have a different answer, but it could still be correct. So you're taking something that's a word problem and you're making it into a number problem. And what I find about tables is they just help you to sort. You're sorting the information, and it's, especially as you get older in the upper grades, they give you lots of information and you need to be able to sort it. So a table is super handy and super helpful. Okay, not yet. Now. Oh, wait. There's some multiplication videos. If you would like to watch them, you're going to watch them on your own. This one is Count by 6, and I think this one is Mr. DeMeo. So he's really funny, and he has the jazzy music, and he's a little strange, which you might enjoy. Okay, next page. Here we go. And I love how they're doing a lot of things that have to do with plants
Because we're working on plants, the plant
and
world.
science, right? And if you remember, the very first day of multiplication, we talked about how rows are when a gardener plants seeds and he creates rows. So rows go across. But here we go. They've done the first one for you. Find a pattern to complete the table, which is what we're doing today. Bev buys 3 packages of planting tools. Each package has 5 tools. How many tools does she buy? 5, 10, 15. The answer is 15. And once again, multiplying times 5 times an odd number ends in a 5. Okay, next one. Yanni. Yanni's uncle has 4 rows of pecan trees. Is it pecan or pecan?
It's sort of like tomato,
Pecan.
tomato.
Pecan pie.
That's
Right?
one of my favorites.
Okay, sorry. Pecan trees in his orchard. There are 10 trees in each row.
I know, Miss East. You
Yes.
gotta count by 10.
We're going to skip count by tens, and we love tens because we know we end in a zero. That's really handy. So we're going to go 10, count with me, 20, 30, 40, and we're done. So we could say 4 times 10 is 40. And counting by tens, we love that. It's really a basic fact, 4 times 1. And then you put a 0. That looks sort of like a 6, Missy's. Write it correctly. Okay, so we're going to pause the video, and you're going to finish the page. Ready? 3, 2, 1, pause. And we're back. Here we go. Alex has 6 garden carts. That's the number 6. I know it's hard to read right there. Each cart has 3 wheels. How many wheels are on the carts? You know what? If they had it written in all, then I would know for sure we're going to multiply. Or we're going to end up with a bigger number, right? So we have 6 carts. There's 3
The magic number.
wheels. Right. 3 is the magic number. Okay, ready? So you should have skip counted. You should have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So there's my answer. So I have 6 equal sets of 3. My answer is 18. Now, when you got down here, we would call this a little bit of a tricky problem. But I like these because it's kind of a logic question. It says 2 numbers have a product, so we know that's when you multiply, of 6 and a sum of 5. Uh-huh. I'm good. Am I not in at all? Oh. Then I have it in the wrong place. Here's my hand. You can see my hand. Okay, 2 numbers have a product of 6. So that means when I'll put it up here. When I multiply them, the answer is 6.
Oh, that almost looks like algebra.
It is. But I love algebra.
Me too.
We all love algebra, so that's a good thing. But they have a sum. When you add them, we know sum is the answer in an adding problem of 5. So what you have to do, the easiest thing to do, is start thinking of what numbers add up to 5. So if I do this, if I say 4 plus 1, I'm going to try those. So 4 and 1. Now watch this. 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, so I got that right. Cool. But watch this. Is 4 times 1 6?
No.
No. So now I know, frowny face, that could not possibly be the answer. So now I'm going to think of another. There's not a lot of numbers that add up to 5. But we're going to go like this. We're going to say 3 and 2. Because when I add 3 plus 2, I do get 5 for sure. Now, let's see if we can switch that around. 3 times 2 is 6. So I got it here and I got it here. So if you did this correctly, your correct answer are the numbers 3 and 2. And you know what the nice thing about multiplying and addition is you could have said, well, what about 2 and 3? Those are correct as well. So that's extremely nice. And I think you can push the button.
Thank you for my job.
Sure. Keep going.
Ooh.
Oh, 2 thumbs up, especially if you got them all correct. You can mark it 100%. Give yourself a pat on the back. But there's one more thing you need to do. The last part of the lesson for today is IXL. You can use IXL Math Y.2 to help you with your multiplication. Wait, there's more. And we have something to show you that you did. So we have collected equal groups of arrays. No, not really. They're not really equal groups, but we're going to show you your work. Here we go. We're all clapping. There's sound effects of clapping.
Right, Kaden.
Cadence arrays of 2 times 3 and 3 times 2. One more click. Smiley face. Look at how happy he is. Okay, good job. Next one. Great work, London. She has stickers, 2 times 4. And there's a winky smile. Olivia's array makes me hungry. I don't know why.
I'll take one of those. Or maybe
Her
3.
array is 4 times 5 is 20, and that gets a very happy smile. Okay, the next one, Jeremiah's array. You might have seen it hanging up here. Okay, and that is 3 times 3. Very good, cool smile.
Huh, did you notice some Easter things here?
There's
We
more.
must have had
There's
Easter.
more, believe me.
Got the Easter candy,
sure
the
like
Easter
it.
eggs.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, but then Christmas.
Yeah,
No,
or
this is
birthdays.
Jamie's array, and she had 4 rows of 3. So 4 times 3 is 12, and there's a nice smile. Sophia's array, she drew hearts, Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
right? And so hers is 3 times 5 is 15, and she has another cool smiley. And then Juliana
Juliana?
has 3 rows of 2 or 2 rows of 3. Great job. Easter eggs.
Easter eggs.
2 times 4. Katie did a nice little array there. Good job, Katie. And here's how it is done. So I got this one, and it's a couple of pictures. It says, okay, I started out here. This is what I was thinking. And I love when you look at Raylynn's face, she is definitely thinking, right? How am I going to do this? And here, she's checking her work to see, and she's counting to make sure she got it right. So if you notice, she definitely has 3 rows, and she has columns 4, 5, 6. So right here, it's kind of light, but it says 3 times 6 equals, and what's the answer? 18. So one more click.
One more click.
Yes. Great work, Ray Ray. Way to go. So good job on arrays. You guys are getting multiplication. Wonderful. Have a great math day. See you later.
Bye-bye.